Thank you, Minister for Local Government and Housing and Environment, Mr. Praveen Bala, the CEO of the Housing Authority, the trustees of the Raiwai Youth and Community Council, my fellow Fijians, good morning, Bulavinaka. And I'm delighted to be here this morning, so soon after my 61st birthday, to revisit the place I have very fond memories of as a boy, growing up in Suva 5 decades ago. Like many young people at the time, I used to come here to take part in a range of sporting activities or just to cheer for our club in our weekly competitions. The Raiwai Youth and Community Center will always have a special place in my heart. So I'm especially delighted to be here this morning to officially hand over the lease documents for the land on which it sits to the trustees of this wonderful place. The Youth and Community Council here now has the proper title to the land, which will enable you to get ready access to development assistance. That was a challenge before. The council is receiving a block of 4.399 square meters free of charge from the Housing Authority. It has a market value of little over $450,000, and there are 52 years of the lease remaining. So for another 5 decades, the center has security of title to continue to be a focal point for the residents of Raiwai and the youth and social clubs that thrive here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am also committed to assisting you to restore this center, to make the necessary improvements to cement its role in the lives of young people in this community. We now have a new board of trustees who are fired with enthusiasm for the restoration project. And I urge you all, the different clubs, the residents and friends, to work in hand with the board and with government to make this place the star attraction for the community we all know it can again be. As I stand before you today, a flood of memories washes over me of the great times everyone who has been involved with this place has experienced. And of course the great names in sport who have been nurtured here and were instilled with the love of the games in which they excelled in. People such as Elesi Ketenromo, Alavina Wanga, Metusela Motu, and Teitusi Nainduki, who became national reps for volleyball and used to train here. And the big names in basketball, Seni Dombui, Sola Koroi, Mareta Tamani, Militale, and Penny Ratumayale, to name but a few. There are legions of young people here looking for similar opportunities, and we intend to provide them as we work together to build our sense of community in Raiwai. There's nothing that gives me more pleasure as Prime Minister than to deliver to ordinary Fijians, young and old, no matter who they are or where they come from, the things they need, like this facility, to get the most out of life. You will have heard me say many times before, my government's role is to deliver and to serve. So I have to say that I get very disappointed when we are accused as a government of disadvantaging ordinary people, and in particular the Itauke. You'll have heard that we just had a delegation of our political opponents telling the United Nations in New York that we are working against the interests of the Itauke and dispossessing them, robbing them of their land and their rights. This is a complete lie, and obviously they don't understand what's going on around them. An outrageous lie, because the truth is that the Tauke are now stronger under my government than they ever been. Their ownership of their land, around 91% of Fiji, is guaranteed under our constitution. Their culture and traditions are also protected, and they enjoy a range of rights they have never had before, including the right to education and the free schooling this government is providing, and which previous governments these people supported were never able to provide. The Constitution also guarantees the right to economic participation and a just minimum wage, plus such things as access to transportation, sanitation, adequate food and water, social security, health, and the right to live in a clean environment. None of these things were guaranteed before. So not only is Tauke land protected and landowners entitled to a fair share of royalties from minerals discovered on their land, every Tauke now has the rights guaranteed in law that never existed when these people exercised the power they did. Under my government, the Tauke are more secure, have more opportunities, and we are providing a host of government services also for the first time. Better roads, better housing, better medical facilities, free medicines, free water. The list of what we have delivered goes on and on. I ask you that you don't take my word for it, look at the evidence, and when you do, you will know that these opposition figures are merely trying to deceive you for their own political ends. What a strange little group this delegation to the UN presented. Its members have nothing in common except a hatred for me and a hatred for this government. Because we removed their privileges and their spoils of office they had come to expect. When we gave ordinary people the fair share of the national cake they deserve and the justice and fairness they have a right to expect. Incredibly, one of the members of this delegation, I was told, was the son of the former Labour Prime Minister, who was beaten and held with his father in the parliamentary complex in 2000 by the very same forces he now calls his friends. There was a picture of this man in the newspaper with an Tauke chief, now resident in America, who once called people like him weeds and said that they had no place in Fiji. And talk about strange bedfellows. These people were bitter enemies 15 years ago, yet now they are all backslapping each other and would have you believe that they represent your best interest. Examine the evidence, you will see for yourselves how ridiculous this alliance is. It merely proves the truth of a very old saying that my enemy's enemy is my friend. And see for yourself how ridiculous the claims they are making are false claims that are not supported by any evidence whatsoever. And I guess it has now died a natural death. My fellow Fijians, do not allow yourselves to be misled. What these people really hate is their perks are gone and the Fijian people have turned against them. We are now one nation, one Fiji with opportunity and justice for all. Ethnicity, religion, provinces, chiefs, commoners should not matter. We are one. It is only by working together as one nation that Fiji will ever achieve the greatness that we all know is within our reach if we can stay united and stay strong. I honestly believe what I say when I tell our young people that there's never been a better time to be a Fijian. And all of the evidence supports me in that belief. An economy growing by more than 4% a year, and offering us all the prospect of more prosperity for everyone. Just as we have empowered this community center by giving you title to the land you gather on, we are empowering every Fijian. We are giving children who once couldn't go to school a chance to do so. We are giving the underprivileged a helping hand with free medicine and water and better access to housing and to health. And we are also empowering our women by giving them more opportunities to take part in the economy, and as I've said yesterday, to be free of the intimidation and fear that domestic violence has inflicted on far too many Fijian families. My fellow Fijians, the effort to revive this place is also a sign of great days ahead. It will strengthen our sense of community in Raiwai and our sense of nationhood in Fiji. The unique pride in being Fijian and a citizen of one of the best countries in the world. To our young people, I say, seize the opportunities that you have been given, whether it is the free education my government is now offering, or access to a facility like this. Great days lie ahead for Fiji and for Raiwai. And I know I now have the pleasure to formally hand over the lease documents for this land to the trustees of the Raiwai Youth and Community Council. Pinakabukaleo.